The space station floated in the endless black sky like a lonely island on a silent sea. It was called Orion 7, a place where hundreds of alien races lived and worked side by side. Humans were few there, just a handful of engineers, traders, and scientists. Most aliens barely noticed them. To many, humans were just weak creatures from a small blue planet. But one human, Dr. Maya Reynolds, was different. She worked as a medic on the lower decks, fixing small wounds, helping workers, and never asking for payment. Most aliens didn't trust humans, but they trusted Maya. Her gentle voice and brave heart made her stand out. That day, Maya was cleaning her small medical cabin when a sound ripped through the quiet air, a cry so sharp and full of pain that it froze her heart. "Someone help. My mother won't wake up, please." The voice was high, trembling, filled with fear. It echoed through the metal halls, bouncing off walls and lights. Maya dropped everything and ran. Others just looked around, curious but unmoved. On Orion 7, sadness was common. Everyone had their own troubles. But something in that voice felt desperate, real. She followed the cry to a narrow corridor near the docking bay. There she saw him, a small alien boy no older than 10 in human years. His skin shimmered faint blue and his eyes were like glass marbles, clear, terrified, and wet with tears. He clutched the limp body of a woman, his mother, clearly from the same species, lying motionless on the cold metal floor. Maya rushed forward. "It's okay. I'm a doctor. Let me see her." The boy didn't move at first. His tiny hands tightened around his mother's shoulders. "You're human," he whispered, afraid. "Humans don't help us." Maya knelt down, meeting his eyes. "I'm not them. I'm here now. Let me help your mother." He hesitated, but then his small voice broke. "Please, help her." Maya placed her scanner over the woman's chest. The readings made her frown. Her lungs weren't working. The air in her body was heavy with a strange chemical. It was as if the station's oxygen system had poisoned her. "She's not breathing," Maya said, pressing her hand to the woman's chest. "What's her name?" "Lyra," the boy whispered. "My mother's name is Lyra. My name is Ellen. We came from Varnus 4. We just arrived yesterday." Tears streamed down his glowing cheeks. Maya tried to calm him as she worked. She used her portable respirator, but the alien's lungs didn't respond. Their structure was different from any species she'd studied. "Her body isn't taking in air," she murmured. "The oxygen here, it's too dry for her." The boy grabbed her sleeve. "Can't you do something? You're a doctor." Maya felt helpless for a moment. Her human tools were useless. She could hear footsteps, other aliens watching from a distance, whispering. No one came closer. Some even laughed quietly. "It's not our problem," someone said. She should have known better than to come here. Maya's jaw tightened. They'll just let her die, she thought. Then she looked at the boy, his small trembling hands, his tear-streaked face, and she made a choice. "No," she said out loud. "Not today." She lifted the mother's body. "We're taking her to my lab now." Ellen looked at her, eyes wide. "But you'll get in trouble. They don't allow humans to treat non-registered aliens." "I don't care," Maya said, already moving. "If we wait for permission, she'll die." She ran through the corridors, the boy running beside her. Alarms started to blink as the system detected unauthorized medical transport. Over the intercom, a cold voice spoke. "Unauthorized human activity detected in medical bay sector. Cease operation immediately." But Maya didn't stop. When they reached her lab, she placed Lyra on the table and locked the door. The boy stood beside her, clutching his mother's hand. "What are you going to do?" he asked in a trembling voice. Maya stared at the alien's pale face. "I'm going to build something to help her breathe," she said. "But how?" the boy asked, confused. Maya took a deep breath. "By building her new lungs." The boy's eyes widened in shock. "New lungs? You can't do that." "Maybe I can't," Maya whispered, "but I have to try." She turned toward her tools. Metal parts, wires, and a small 3D bioprinter glowing faintly in the corner. Outside, security drones were already closing in. The boy's voice trembled. "They'll arrest you for this." Maya looked back and smiled sadly. "Then we'd better hurry." Outside, the sound of approaching footsteps grew louder. Inside, the hum of machines filled the air as Maya began to create what no human had ever dared before. The metal doors of Maya's small lab hissed shut behind her. Red warning lights flashed above, casting long shadows across the room. The sound of security drones echoed faintly through the corridor outside. She didn't have much time. Maya pressed a code on the wall panel, locking the room. "That should buy us a few minutes," she whispered. Ellen stood by the medical bed, clutching his mother's hand. Lyra's skin had turned a dull gray and her breathing was shallow, barely there. The faint glow that once shimmered across her body was fading. "Please," Ellen said, voice breaking. "She's getting colder." Maya's heart tightened. "Stay with her," she said softly. "Talk to her. She can still hear you." The boy nodded, tears running down his cheeks as he whispered in his alien language, soft, melodic words full of love. Maya didn't understand them, but she felt their meaning. She moved quickly to the workbench, scanning the alien woman's biology again. The data on her screen made her bite her lip. Her lungs are collapsing. The air here doesn't match her planet's mixture. Too thin, too metallic. Her body's rejecting it. Ellen looked up. "Can you fix it?" "I can try," Maya said, eyes narrowing in determination. "But we'll need something special." She opened a storage cabinet and pulled out a small 3D bioprinter, an illegal one. It could grow living tissue using nanotech and human stem cells. It was banned under galactic law because of the risk of creating hybrid organs. If she got caught using it, she'd lose her license. Or worse, her life. Maya hesitated for a moment, then looked at Lyra's motionless body. "They call us weak," she thought. Maybe they're right, but weakness doesn't mean doing nothing. She connected the scanner to the printer. "I'll design new lungs for her, part mechanical, part biological. They'll work with this station's air." Ellen watched with wide eyes. "But if she's not human, won't that hurt her?" "It might," Maya said honestly. "But if we do nothing, she'll die. I'd rather fight for her life." The boy didn't argue. He just nodded, trusting her completely now. The printer hummed to life, light glowing in waves of blue and white. Data flashed on the screen as Maya began designing the lungs, shaped like curved shells lined with nanofibers to adapt to alien cells. Sweat rolled down her forehead. Every second counted. Outside, a mechanical voice echoed from the corridor. "Unauthorized medical biofabrication detected. Human Dr. Maya Reynolds. Cease activity immediately or face termination." Ellen froze. "They found us." Maya didn't look up. "Ignore them. We're not stopping." The door vibrated as drones tried to hack the lock. Sparks flew from the edges. Maya's hands shook, but she kept working, whispering under her breath. Come on, come on." Finally, the printer beeped. 2 glowing lungs rested inside, a miracle of science. Maya lifted them carefully, placing them in a sterilizer field. "They're ready." She turned to Ellen. "I'll need to operate now." The boy stared, terrified. "But you'll get hurt if they come in." "Then I'll just have to finish before they do," she said firmly. Maya pulled on her gloves and activated the surgical lights. Lyra's pulse was faint, almost gone. Maya worked fast, replacing the damaged organs with the new synthetic pair. Her hands moved with precision, her mind racing. Every beep of the monitor echoed like a heartbeat in her own chest. Outside, the door was nearly broken. "Final warning, human," the voice boomed. "Open the door or we will use force." Maya didn't flinch. "Not yet," she whispered. Inside the lab, time felt frozen. The moment she connected the final nerve line, the monitor suddenly blinked. One steady beat. Then another. Then another. Lyra's chest rose. Ellen gasped. "She's breathing." "You did it!" Maya stepped back, her own heart pounding. "She's stable. For now." The door exploded open. A burst of smoke filled the lab as 3 security drones hovered in, weapons glowing. Behind them stood a tall alien officer with silver armor and black eyes, Commander Tahrin of the Galactic Health Council. "Maya Reynolds," he said coldly. "You've broken galactic law. You have created a forbidden hybrid organ." Ellen ran in front of his mother. "She saved her. Please don't hurt her." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Step aside, child. This human has tampered with alien biology. That's a capital crime." Maya stood tall, trembling but defiant. "If saving a life is a crime, then maybe your laws are wrong." The room fell silent. Even the drones hesitated. Tahrin's face was unreadable. "You've endangered the balance of our systems. You will be taken for questioning." As he gestured to his guards, Lyra coughed weakly, her hand trembling as she reached out. "Stop," she whispered in her alien tongue. Her voice was weak but clear. "The human saved me." Everyone froze. The alien commander's expression flickered for the first time. A faint whisper passed among the drones. Shock, disbelief. Maya stepped closer to the bed, holding Lyra's hand. "You're going to be okay," she said softly. Outside, alarms still wailed. But in that small lab, for a single moment, a miracle had happened. Cold metal cuffs locked around Maya's wrists as the guards led her through the glowing corridor of the Galactic Council Station. Every step echoed loudly against the steel floor. Aliens from different worlds stopped to watch. Some whispered, others looked away. A few sneered when they saw she was human. The tall alien commander Tahrin walked ahead, silent and rigid. His black eyes reflected the blue light of the hall. "You defied galactic law," he said without looking back. "You'll stand before the council for creating hybrid organs." Maya kept her voice calm. "I saved a life. Life is not above law," he replied coldly. Behind them, little Ellen ran to keep up. His mother, Lyra, had been taken to a medical chamber for observation. Her new lungs were working, but the council didn't trust them. They feared contamination, mutation, anything that challenged their strict systems. Ellen's small voice trembled. "Commander, please, she didn't do wrong. She only wanted to help my mother." A guard blocked his path. "Silence, child. Humans know the rules," but Tahrin raised a hand. "Let him speak." The boy's glassy eyes shone with tears. "If she hadn't helped, my mother would be dead." "You talk about rules, but what about kindness?" Tahrin turned slowly. "Kindness is not a defense in law." Maya looked at him. "Maybe it should be." The commander's gaze hardened. "We'll see what the council says." The Hall of Judgment was vast, walls of crystal light filled with alien voices whispering like wind. The council members sat high on floating platforms, beings of different shapes and colors, each representing a world in the Galactic Union. Humans had no seat there. Maya stood alone in the center circle, under a bright white beam. The cuffs around her wrists glowed faintly, preventing movement. Her heart pounded, but she stood tall. A deep voice echoed from the center platform. It belonged to High Counselor Varric, an ancient being with skin like molten silver. "Maya Reynolds of Earth," he began, "you are accused of creating and implanting unauthorized hybrid biological matter into a non-human body. Do you understand this charge?" "I do," Maya said clearly. "And how do you plead?" She looked up. "Guilty of saving a life," gasps filled the chamber. Some counselors frowned. Others murmured to each other. Varric's tone darkened. "Your defiance does not help you. Hybrid organs are forbidden for a reason. They threaten biological stability between species." Maya took a step forward. "I didn't make a weapon. I made lungs. She couldn't breathe our air. So I gave her a chance. By combining human tissue with alien DNA," Varric snapped. "A dangerous mix." "She's alive," Maya said. "Is that so dangerous?" The hall went silent. Even the guards hesitated. Then a door slid open. Ellen rushed in, breathless. "Stop, please stop this," he cried. He carried a small data pad in his trembling hands. Two guards tried to grab him, but he shouted, "I have proof." Varric frowned. "Who allowed this child?" But Tahrin raised his hand. "Let him speak." Ellen ran to Maya's side and held up the pad. A hologram flickered in the air, medical data from the station's monitor. "This is my mother's record," he said, voice shaking. "Her lungs, the ones Maya made, they're not hurting her. They're fixing her, look." The data showed green waves, stable oxygen levels, perfect heartbeat, full recovery. The hall buzzed with confusion. Varric leaned forward. "Impossible. Hybrid organs never stabilize. It's happening right now," Ellen shouted. "You say she broke the law, but maybe your law is broken." The council members whispered furiously among themselves. Maya watched quietly, her heart heavy and hopeful at once. Then Tahrin stepped forward. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed something new, doubt. "High Counselor, if the hybrid organ has adapted safely, this may be the first success in history." Varric's silver face darkened. "A single success does not erase the danger. But it proves humans are capable of more than we believed," Tahrin said. The chamber erupted in arguments, some for mercy, some demanding punishment. Words like innovation, chaos, blasphemy, and hope echoed through the hall. Finally, Varric struck the table with his staff. The room fell silent. "Maya Reynolds," he declared, "you will not be executed, but your research is confiscated. You are forbidden to continue your work." "You will be confined to the human quarters until further notice," Ellen cried out. "That's not fair." Maya placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "It's all right," she whispered. "At least I'm still here." Tareen looked at her as the guards took her away. "You've changed something today," he said quietly. Even if they can't admit it yet, she gave a faint smile. Change always starts with one person. Hours later, alone in her small cell, Maya sat by the narrow window. The stars glowed like tiny fires outside. She closed her eyes, hearing the faint echo of the boy's voice. "You saved her." She didn't know what would happen next, but somewhere deep inside, she felt it wasn't over. The galaxy had seen what one human could do, and that truth would spread faster than any law could stop. Outside the cell, a hidden figure watched her through the glass. A scientist from another world, eyes full of curiosity. He whispered, "A human who can merge life forms. Perhaps she's the key." Maya sat in the dim light of her small cell. The walls were gray, the air cold, and the silence heavy. It had been 3 days since the trial. 3 long days since she'd seen Ellen or his mother. The council had kept her locked away for observation, but she knew what it really meant: punishment in slow motion. She stared out through the narrow window. The stars glimmered beyond the glass, endless and free. "They say humans are too emotional," she whispered. "Maybe that's true. But isn't emotion what makes us fight for others?" Her thoughts were broken by the soft hiss of the door sliding open. A tall figure entered the room. His body shimmered faintly as though made of starlight. He was not one of the guards. His voice was calm, deep, and strangely warm. "Dr. Maya Reynolds," he said, bowing slightly. "My name is Oren Vex. I am not here on behalf of the council." Maya straightened cautiously. "Then who sent you?" He smiled faintly. "Let's just say, those who believe the galaxy needs change," she frowned. "Change? You mean breaking more laws?" Oren chuckled softly. "Sometimes the law must break before truth can breathe." He walked closer, his golden eyes glowing faintly. "I saw your trial. You created a hybrid organ that did not fail. Do you realize what that means?" "It means I'm a prisoner," Maya said bitterly. "It means," Oren continued, "you did what no council scientist could do in centuries. You made life adapt. You proved that unity between species is not poison, it's evolution." Maya looked away. "They don't care about that. They only care about control." Oren nodded. "Exactly. That's why I'm here. I lead a group called the Nova Accord. We work in the shadows, helping scientists who believe in progress, not politics." Maya's eyes narrowed. "You want me to join you?" He leaned closer, his voice lowering. "Not just join us, lead us. We need someone with your courage and your skill. We can build what the council fears most, a future where every being can survive anywhere." Maya hesitated. The offer was dangerous, maybe suicidal, but deep inside a spark of hope flickered. "If I say yes, what happens?" "You leave this cell tonight," Oren said. "We have ships waiting in the lower docks. Your record will be wiped. You'll have full access to our technology. You'll be free to continue your research." Maya's heartbeat quickened. Freedom. A chance to finish what she started. But then she thought of Ellen and his mother. "What about them?" she asked. "They risked everything for me." Oren's eyes softened. "The boy and his mother are safe. The council released them under watch. But if you leave, you may never see them again." Silence filled the room. Maya's chest felt heavy. She closed her eyes, remembering the boy's trembling voice, his small hands gripping hers, his words. "You saved her." "I can't just run away," she said finally. "They'll call me a criminal forever." Oren tilted his head. "And if you stay, you'll rot here and your discovery will be erased." "Which choice sounds worse?" Maya looked down at her hands, still marked by the glowing cuffs. Her mind raced. The council wanted silence. The Nova Accord wanted change. And somewhere between them, lives were still being lost. She took a slow breath. "If I help you, I do it my way. No weapons, no lies. Only science that saves lives." Oren smiled faintly. "That's exactly what we need." He reached into his cloak and pressed a small metal device against the cuffs. The restraints fell away, clinking softly onto the floor. "Your time as a prisoner is over," he said, "but your fight is only beginning." Minutes later, Maya followed him through hidden corridors beneath the council station. The air smelled of fuel and secrecy. At the end of the tunnel, a small black ship waited, its engines humming quietly. Before boarding, Maya turned one last time toward the shining walls of the station. the place that had judged her, broken her and shown her who she truly was. "I never wanted to be a hero," she whispered. "I just wanted to help someone breathe." Oren looked at her with respect. "That's why you are one." As the ship lifted off, stars filled the window. The endless void spread before them, cold, beautiful, full of danger and promise. Inside, Oren handed her a small holographic tablet. "Your first mission," he said. A map appeared, red zones scattered across the galaxy. "Entire colonies," Oren explained, "suffering from air contamination. Different species, different lungs. The Council refuses to help." "You could." Maya's eyes widened. "You mean I could build lungs for them all?" Oren nodded. "You could save thousands. But if the Council finds us, they'll call it rebellion." Maya smiled softly. "Then let them." Outside, the stars seemed to pulse brighter, as if the universe itself was listening. For the first time in her life, Maya didn't feel small or powerless. She was a human, fragile, emotional, and stubborn. And soon the entire galaxy would learn just how dangerous that combination could be. The small black ship drifted quietly through the endless dark, hidden behind the shadow of a dying moon. Inside, Dr. Maya Reynolds sat surrounded by blinking screens and holographic blueprints. The air smelled of metal and burnt energy. She hadn't slept in 2 days. Across from her, Oren Vex studied her progress. "You've already rebuilt the prototype?" he asked, astonished. Maya wiped sweat from her forehead. "Not rebuilt, improved. The last design was too limited. These new lungs can adjust their air filters automatically. They'll adapt to any planet's atmosphere within minutes." Oren's eyes glowed faintly golden. "You're changing the rules of survival, Doctor." Maya looked up from her work. "I'm changing the rules of compassion." He smiled faintly. "You sound like a human." "I am one," she replied simply. The ship shook slightly as they entered a new orbit. Below them lay a crimson planet, Tessarian, once home to millions of miners from 5 different species. Now it was a silent wasteland. The air was toxic, the sky filled with red dust. Oren pointed to the surface. "Our sensors show over 2,000 survivors living underground. Their lungs can't filter the poison anymore. The Council marked this planet as lost." "Then let's prove them wrong," Maya said, standing. They landed near a shattered mining colony. The doors creaked open, letting in a rush of dry, bitter wind. Maya stepped out wearing a breathing mask. Her boots sank into red dust that glowed faintly in the dim sunlight. A group of alien survivors emerged from the ruins, thin, weak, eyes dull from years of struggle. One of them, a tall insectoid with silver eyes, looked at her curiously. "You human?" "Yes," Maya said. "I came to help." The alien tilted his head. "Help? The Council sent no one." "I'm not the Council," she replied, removing her mask for a brief moment to show her face. "I'm just someone who believes you deserve to breathe." They watched her, unsure if they could trust her. But then a small alien child stepped forward, coughing weakly. His chest rattled with every breath. Maya knelt down, placing her scanner on him. "Same problem as Lyra," she whispered. "Different species, same cause, polluted air. Broken lungs." She turned to Oren. "Get the kit ready." Within minutes, the black ship's cargo door opened to reveal her creation, a field lab glowing blue, alive with quiet energy. Inside it, dozens of synthetic organs rested inside transparent cases, each designed for a different species. "This will take time," she said, "but if I can match the right model to their biology, I can save them." Oren looked around nervously. "We must be fast. The Council patrols this region." Maya nodded. "Then we'll work faster." Hours passed. The survivors gathered, whispering as she worked. One by one, the sick were treated. The air filled with soft hums of machines, the sound of breathing returning to those who'd lost hope. Then it happened. A faint pulse of energy rippled across the desert sky. Oren's wristband beeped. "Council scanners approaching fast." Maya didn't stop. "I need 5 more minutes." "We don't have 5!" he shouted, but she didn't even look up. "They can take me if they want. These people deserve life." The first ship appeared above them, silver and sharp like a blade. Searchlights cut through the red dust. A voice boomed from above. "This is Commander Tahrin of the Galactic Council. Step away from the unauthorized biolab." Maya's heart clenched. Tahrin, the same man who arrested her. Oren looked at her. "He's not here to talk." The ship's guns powered up. The survivors screamed, running for cover. Maya stood her ground. "If they destroy this lab, hundreds will die," she said. Then from behind her a small voice cried out, "Don't hurt her!" Maya turned. A tiny alien girl had stepped in front of her, arms spread wide. Her skin glowed faintly blue, one of the children she had just saved. Her breathing was steady, clear, strong. Tareen's voice hesitated over the intercom. Who are you?" The child looked up. "I can breathe again." "Because of her." A silence followed. The soldiers aboard the council ship hesitated, unsure. Then another survivor stepped forward. And another. Soon dozens of voices filled the air, different languages, same message. "She saved us. She gave us life. She's not a criminal, she's hope." Maya stood still, her chest rising with emotion. The red dust swirled around her like a storm of light. Tareen's ship hovered silently. Then in a quieter voice he said, "Maya Reynolds, stop this madness before they destroy you." She looked up at the hovering ship. "Madness?" she shouted. "If saving lives is madness, then the galaxy needs more of it." For a moment even the wind seemed to stop. Oren stepped beside her. "You've just declared war," he whispered. Maya shook her head. "No, I've declared humanity." As the council ships retreated, unable to fire on innocent survivors, Maya looked at the red sky above. She knew this was only the beginning. Her inventions were saving lives, but also threatening the galaxy's fragile balance. And now, whispers would spread across the stars, about a human doctor who could heal the impossible, about a rebel scientist who defied the laws of every world, about the day humanity became a threat. The stars burned quietly outside the window of the Nova Accord's secret base, a dark ring hidden in the shadows of a dead sun. Inside, Maya stood at a wide glass wall looking down at a fleet of ships being repaired and refitted. Each one carried her designs, machines that could create life-saving organs for any species. She had saved thousands now. Entire colonies that the Galactic Council had abandoned were breathing again. But something strange was happening, something she hadn't planned. Oren entered the room holding a holo tablet. His face was tight with worry. "We have a problem," he said quietly. Maya turned. "Another attack?" "No," Oren said. "Something unexpected. The lungs you built, they're spreading." She frowned. "Spreading? What do you mean?" He handed her the tablet. On the screen were hundreds of data points, maps of colonies lighting up in red. "The hybrids you created are reproducing inside the bodies. The cells are adapting faster than expected. Some aliens are developing stronger breathing systems, even on toxic worlds." Maya blinked. "That's good news." "They're surviving." Oren shook his head. "No, Maya, it's too much. The adaptation is rewriting their biology. Some species' immune systems are changing. The council calls it a plague." Maya felt a cold wave rush through her. "A plague?" "They say it started with your designs," Oren said softly. "They're calling it the human effect. They believe humanity is rewriting evolution." Maya's chest tightened. "That's not true. I didn't make a disease. I made life. But the result is spreading uncontrollably," Oren said. "Your nanotech learns. It evolves. The lungs aren't just healing, they're improving." She stepped back, her voice trembling. "They're becoming self-replicating." "Yes, and now even planets untouched by us are showing traces of human-coded biosignatures." Maya sank into a chair, burying her face in her hands. "I just wanted to help them breathe," she whispered. Oren sat beside her. "You gave them hope, Maya, but hope always carries a price." Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, inside the shining council citadel, High Counselor Varric stood before a massive hologram of spreading red dots. "Human technology is infecting entire systems," he said coldly. "If this continues, every race in the Union will carry human DNA within a decade." Commander Tareen stood nearby, silent. "We should destroy the source," another council member said. "Find the human, erase her work, burn her colonies." Tareen clenched his jaw. "She's not an enemy. She saved lives, thousands of them." Varric's eyes flashed. "And in saving them, she may destroy us all. If every species becomes the same, our differences vanish. Our balance dies. This human plague must end." The council chamber filled with agreement. Only Tareen remained silent, staring at the map of spreading light. In the center of it all, one name blinked. Maya Reynolds. Back at the Nova base, Maya worked restlessly through the night. The lab was silent except for the hum of machines and the sound of her rapid typing. "I can fix this," she murmured to herself. "I just need to slow down the replication rate, stabilize the code." Oren watched from the doorway. "Maya, the Council's fleet is already moving. They're calling it a containment operation." "Containment?" she said, eyes wide. "You mean extermination?" He didn't answer. Maya's hands shook. She looked at the stars outside the glass. Somewhere out there, Ellen and his mother were alive because of her. Would they be hunted too? "I can't let them destroy this," she said fiercely. "This isn't a weapon. It's the future," Oren sighed. "The Council doesn't care about the future. They care about control, and now, they fear humans more than ever." Maya turned sharply toward him. "Fear of us?" He nodded slowly. "You've done what no alien ever could. You made life stronger. To them, that's terrifying." She clenched her fists. "Then they'll learn what humans do when we're afraid. We fight." Oren looked at her, his golden eyes glowing brighter. "Maya, what are you planning?" She stared at the screen, the map of spreading red dots. "If they want to destroy what I built, they'll have to find me first. And I'm not going to hide anymore." Far across the stars, the Council fleets moved like silver storms through the darkness, erasing every trace of her inventions. Colonies that once praised her name now whispered it in fear. But deep beneath the surface of a forgotten moon, Maya's new lab came alive, hidden, powerful, untouchable. Inside, her machines glowed like hearts in the dark. Maya whispered to herself, "You can't kill an idea. You can't cage hope." The air shimmered with faint blue light as her newest creation formed, a hybrid unlike any before, capable of living in space, breathing vacuum itself. She looked at it and smiled sadly. "You'll be the proof they can't destroy." Outside, the stars burned brighter, and for the first time in centuries, the galaxy feared a human. The galaxy burned quietly under war. It wasn't a war of armies. It was a war of fear. The Galactic Council's fleet swept across star systems, hunting every trace of Maya Reynolds' technology. The miracle lungs she had built, once symbols of hope, were now labeled as weapons of contamination. Everywhere her invention spread, the Council followed with fire, but they were too late. Her creations had already evolved. Hidden deep beneath the surface of a frozen moon, Maya worked in silence inside her secret lab. The walls pulsed with blue light, alive with data streams and biomachines. Around her floated dozens of glowing capsules, each holding new hybrid life forms, each capable of surviving in any world, any air, any sky. Oren Vex entered quietly, his golden eyes dim with exhaustion. "The Council has declared humanity an invasive species," he said. "They've ordered all humans in the galaxy to be contained or sent back to Earth." Maya didn't look up. "Contain us?" she whispered. "They're afraid because we dared to care." "They call it survival," Oren replied. Maya turned toward him. "No, it's control." She picked up a small capsule, a single glowing lung inside. "This is life, Oren. It adapts. It learns. It unites. That's what they fear most, unity." He stepped closer. "Maya, listen to me. If you don't stop, they'll destroy Earth next. They think you're building an army." She smiled sadly. "I'm building a future." Hours later, alarms echoed through the moon base. The sky outside turned silver as the Council fleet arrived, thousands of ships surrounding the frozen planet. In the command ship above, Commander Tahrin stood at the window. His heart was heavy. He'd once believed in law and order. Now all he saw was destruction in the name of safety. "Target locked," a soldier said. "Awaiting your command," Tahrin hesitated. "Open a channel," he said quietly. On Maya's screen, his face appeared, older, tired, and full of regret. "Maya Reynolds," Tahrin said, voice echoing. "You are surrounded. Power down your lab and surrender peacefully." Maya stood still, the cold blue light washing over her face. "You once said saving lives was madness," she said softly. "Do you still believe that?" Tahrin didn't answer. "You've caused chaos across the stars. The Council fears your technology will erase us." "Erase you?" she said. "No, Commander. I've given you all something greater. You just can't see it." "What do you mean?" Maya raised her wrist, showing him a data chip glowing faintly red. "Every hybrid organ I made carries a signal. It's not a virus, it's a message. A code of harmony. A design that links every species' biology together. I built a network of life. Tareen's eyes widened. You might connected them? Yes, Maya said, her voice steady. Now when one species breathes, the others benefit. When one world heals, all do. You can destroy me, but you can't destroy what they've already become. The bridge of Tareen's ship went silent. The soldiers stared, unsure. She's bluffing, one whispered. But then lights flickered across the galaxy map. One by one, star systems began glowing, planets breathing in sync, connected through invisible threads of Maya's nanotech. Across the stars, oxygen levels rose, toxic worlds cleared, and sick colonies awakened with new life. A single network pulsed across the galaxy, alive, unified. Tahrin stepped back, speechless. You've changed everything. Maya smiled faintly. No, we did. Humanity was never a threat, we were the missing piece. The Council's voice broke over the intercom. Commander Tahrin, destroy the base now. Tahrin looked at the order, then back at Maya's image. For a long moment he said nothing. Then he turned to his crew. Stand down, he ordered. But sir, that's an order. Below, Maya exhaled in relief. The base trembled as her systems overloaded from the massive signal pulse. Sparks flew. The walls glowed brighter. Oren ran toward her. The reactor's unstable. We have to leave. Maya looked at the stars on her screen, each one flickering like a heartbeat. No, she whispered. It has to end here. She handed him the final data chip. Take this. Keep it safe. It carries the blueprint, the code of life. Promise me it won't fall into the Council's hands. Oren's eyes glistened. You can still come with me. She shook her head gently. Someone has to keep the system stable while it spreads. Go. He hesitated, then nodded and fled to the escape pod. As the engines roared to life, Maya stood alone, watching the galaxy light up. Her voice was calm, almost peaceful. Let them call it the human plague, she whispered. Because life always spreads. The reactor's light grew blinding white. Outside, the frozen moon cracked apart, sending a wave of energy through space, a breath so vast it touched every living world. Days later, survivors across the galaxy looked to the sky and saw something new. The stars shimmered brighter. The air tasted sweeter. Breathing became easier no matter what world they lived on, and across countless species a single whisper began to spread. A human did this. Some called it salvation. Others called it evolution. But everyone agreed it changed everything. Years later, in a quiet valley on a distant world, a blue-skinned boy played under a tree. His name was Ellen. His mother, Lyra, watched with a smile. The air was clear, the sky alive with color. He looked up at the stars and whispered,
Thank you, Maya. Far away among those same stars.
The wind seemed to carry a faint echo, a human voice calm and proud. Now, everyone can breathe.